don't have an ice pan. We don't have an ice pan. No, we don't. I don't know. It's the Elite Tour. Don't worry.
Je fais quoi maintenant?
C'était 15-7.
On met quoi, ça?
Je sais pas, tu veux prendre ce balai là ou quoi? Non.
On peut, hein?
Bah ça. Je pense. Hein.
Tu veux balayer avec ça? Ok. Un peu, ouais. C'était combien? Ok. Mais moi, je pense que si vous arrachez, vous l'amenez. Hein.
Lynn, c'est bien. Lynn, c'est bien. Regarde, Val, regarde.
Regarde.
Ça a l'air vite. Easy. Ça a l'air vite, les gars. 14-7, c'est très vite. Oh. Enlève, même pas du tout. Ah,
Ça suffit pas, hein.
je crois pas, non.
C'est tout juste, hein.
Et ouais.
I didn't see. I'm not saying it's not you. It wasn't 20, but you saw ours. It's like, I don't know. I'm not saying we were shot.
I'm saying that, totally honestly, they're really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But his measurement on ours was fucked. I agree with that. But
Fucked up our measurement.
they would have, what I think we should do is we should have a rethrow, both teams throw another stone.
What happened to ours?
The measurement
Messed up. Oh, you had it on a
didn't
different.
set it zero, but it recorded 73, 70. Now that I think about it, 73 would be out more than the 4 foot. Yeah. And the stone was certainly biting the 4 foot. So,
Like, my opinion was that it was very close.
Yeah, it was close.
Like, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
and I'm getting,
We're not taking a hammer.
that's not right.
Could you just play again, I guess? Is that good for you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Fucking rethrow.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
First.
What the fuck? This one is doing it.
You guys for first? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's.
Here. That is fucked up.
Can we throw it again?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely very close. I think you have, close to half into 4 foot in us as well. So.
He fucked up. He had the thing on the
Was
wrong
he-
measurement when he measured ours. He said we lost
Moi, je
ours
crois que
by
c'était
20
eux qui étaient plus
centimeters.
proches. Ah ouais? Moi, je crois qu'ils étaient moitié-moitié.
Okay, cool.
What did you get on my last one?
80. all good. I just want to know what happened. They were really close. Yeah, we all saw it. Yeah, it's okay. Well, we had a quarter of our rock in the forefront. Huh? I don't think, like, if they're switching with that, I think it's fucking probably
Go, go, go! What?
Welcome back to our coverage of the A-Road game this afternoon. A-Road semi-final between Peter de Cruz from Switzerland and K.Koe from Calgary in Canada. A little bit of a slow start here today. Unfortunately, we had a problem with the measuring device in the first draw shot challenge. Both teams sportingly agreed to go again, so it's hard to visually tell which stone was closest, but K.Koe's guys covered the pin and win the draw shot challenge of the hammer at the first end. I'm David Hay. I'm pleased to join you this afternoon in the commentary box. We have Warwick Smith alongside me, giving expert analysis. And looking forward to a great game here, Warwick.
Well, we've got two teams that are playing really well this season. They are both in the top 20 in the world rankings. They have both won tournaments this season, and they're both undefeated this weekend. I think we'll find that this will be a masterclass in curling, and we certainly hope so. They certainly have the credentials on paper. Let's see if they can transfer that to the ice. Ice conditions in Perth have been consistent throughout the week so far. It's excellent curling ice, with the stone moving approximately 5.5, 6 feet all over the sheet.
Yep, well, we've had some great games so far today, Warwick. Last game going down to the extra end. Rasmus Rana from Sweden edging out Kalle Kiskinen from Finland, so let's hope for the same again here.
Yeah, and that was a game that we really saw the top end in Rana's team really carrying the lead and second player. They weren't playing that well, but certainly the third and skip were shooting really well. And you don't usually get that. You need a good team effort right the way from lead all the way through to advance in these types of tournaments. But Skip and third and Rana's team playing so well that they managed to edge the opposition out.
Well, first shot of the game just slipped into the house, which is a mistake by Team de Cruz, giving Benny Hebert the chance to hit this in the nose. Check to the wing.
Yeah, and I think Hebert will be even trying for the dead nose, leave himself lying dead centre and not giving opposition a chance to hit his. He's now sitting outside the rings, so his stone can't be removed.
Well, this Canadian team has been put together last year for the one main aim was to try and gain the Olympic qualification. Ben and Mark, Ben Hebert, Mark Kennedy, already Olympic gold medalists from Vancouver 2010. Brent Lang, who plays second in the team, one of the most decorated curlers in Canada, hugely successful over the years, as is K.Koe. They would desperately like to make that trip to Pyongyang in South Korea to play in the 2018 Olympics. So Ben Hebert playing his second shot at the first end. A wee intern freeze coming up here.
Room! Off then.
Yeah, again the ice is very fast straight off the bat. They've had a double draw shot challenge, as David mentioned before, after a bit of controversy with the umpire measuring device not working correctly. So the ice will be up to speed now. It's going to be a bit faster on the first end as they would normally expect, and as we can see, a little tap back on the yellow there.
Yep, nice shot. The thing is, Warwick, often we get ice in the arenas and in some of the championship games, which does swing this sort of amount. It's not unusual to see 5-6 feet swings, but it is unusual to see it as quick as this. This ice is running about 15 seconds hog to hog, maybe 14.8 at the start of the game, which is very, very quick. And also have that sort of swing is a real pleasure for the players. And I was speaking to Nicholas Adine earlier in the day, the world champion. He said it's some of the best ice they've played on all year.
Yeah, and that's what attracts the big teams in here. The prize money, which is fabulous this weekend, is obviously something that the players think about when they're thinking about their season and where they're going to go. But they won't go to a rink that doesn't have good ice, that they can't compete on, that basically that skill shows through. That's what the players are really after, so they can test their skills, and literally the team that plays best that weekend wins. They don't want to leave it down to luck or down to a lucky swing or a straight stone. So they're looking for quality ice, quality equipment, quality stones, and that's exactly what they're getting this weekend.
And that's what you and I were like, Warren, wasn't it? The first time you sat down in the summertime, you put your programme together and see where you want to play for the year. The first thing you remember was where was the ice good last year, where was the stones good, where was our organisation good. And that was your sort of number one picks if you're deciding where to go and play next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Curling's very similar to golf, you know. The best players produce the best games on the best ice. Same with golf. If you go golfing or putting in a ploughed field against Rory McIlroy, you've got a sporting chance.
I think I've got a sporting chance.
Yeah, just. You go into anything that's even got shortcut grass, and you ain't going to make the cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, yep, you need the conditions to perform, that's for certain, and they've got them here in Perth, which is great. Today's game is brought to you by Luguer, Switzerland, in association with the Royal Caledonian Curling Club and the Try Curling Initiative, which is a fantastic system they've got for introducing young players and new curlers to the game. The City of Perth Mercure Masters, coming to you live from Perth today, is sponsored by the Mercure Hotel Group. Been fantastic sponsors over the years. This is the 40th running of this competition. Peter de Cruz, early ends and a little bit of bother here.
Second stone, making an out turn draw, attempting the freeze. He's called a freeze in the back shot. He also has a half stone freeze on the short stone that's lying next to the button, although this one looks a little bit heavy. They're maybe going to try and sweep this past the one on the top of the button onto the back stone and secure second shot. That's not a bad shot there.
Okay, bit of a saver. Candy got the hammer that works. They've got game control here, lying in the top of the button, double guarded.
Do you have it all?
The difference playing against teams like Kevin Koe, you will get a couple of chances in the game, and that's about it.
Yeah.
If you don't take these couple of chances, it could be a long, hard afternoon for the Swiss boys.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the top teams in the world playing here. And again, sitting second on the money list, on the worldwide money list that is.
Well then, room.
So these guys are doing pretty well just now. Again, we'll see them make sure they line their shots up, almost like a game of chess, making sure your pieces are in the correct spot. There's another good shot there.
Brent Lang,
Nice shot, Brent.
husband of Jennifer Jones, the current Olympic gold medalist from Canada. A really nice shot. De Cruz's team a bit younger than the Canadians and playing out of Geneva in Switzerland. Currently lying number 30th the money list in the world just now. So there's a 28 spacing between the two teams.
Both teams have had a bit of success this year with wins for Koe in the first Grand Slam of the year, and he's won the Edmonton Spiel, and also in the final in Portage in Canada. But the big one for them this year has been winning the Canada Cup, which gives them automatic entry into the Continental Cup. And that's the Ryder Cup of golf. The curling's equivalent. So they also makes the Olympic spot available for them, which means that they'll have a chance to represent Canada in the Olympics in 2018.
Okay, we're
That
trying
was
to get
massive
low,
for them,
right?
Warwick. That win in the Canada Cup about a month ago
Yeah.
secures their team for the next 2 years. They'll get into the final Olympic trials in December 2017 to try and represent Canada at the 2018 Olympics in Pyongyang in South Korea.
Whoa, our weight's good. Whoa.
As I said earlier,
How's the weight?
Mark Candy, the third, playing in
Whoa,
turn freeze
Benny,
here
you're
just
just
now. And his
T-line.
teammate Ben
Just
Hebert
going
both played
T-line.
with
It's got a curl.
John Morris and Kevin Martin when they won in
Line'll be good.
Vancouver
Get it back
in
here. Go,
2010.
Brent. No, line's good. Go, Benny. Go, Benny.
There's a lot
Go.
of gold medals between these guys.
Go, gotta be past it.
Working this
Go,
stone
go, go,
hard.
go, go, go,
Got to
go.
get it past the one on the top of the button, which they do.
Fantastic start to the game. Canadian boys sharp right off the bat. Brilliant freezing.
Indeed. There's nobody running away from this game. The Cruz's team seem quite happy to go toe to toe with the Canadians at the moment. We'll see if that's a good strategy in 6 stones time.
En plein. Le problème avec ça, c'est quand même difficile. Faut en passer très proche.
The Cruz having a very good European Championship at the end of November. End up picking up the silver medals. They lost out to Nicholas Adine and his World Championship side. But played an excellent week of curling.
Sinon, on vient là, mais
Yeah, these guys are no
tu viens à 8.
strangers to the big time. They've been over in Canada. They played in Cookstown
Ce serait bien d'être
earlier in the year,
Pour
and
pousser un petit peu ça là.
they won that tournament. It's
Uh,
never easy going to Canada and winning a spiel. So they've collected some silverware this season already.
Ça en plein.
They are one of just 2 funded Swiss teams, and they'll be looking for the 2018 Olympic spot for Switzerland as their main goal in the team.
I mean, although they're relatively young guys, they're all in their 20s. They seem to be around for quite a long time now. They've been
Whoa,
on the European tour for
whoa. Ben,
8-10 years now. And they've done pretty well overall.
oui.
Yeah, certainly the Cruz is a fairly household name in the
Yep.
European circuit. Well experienced,
Oh,
still skipping the team here, although he's playing second
Okay.
rocks.
Huh?
Leaving it to Schwartz to pick up the skip stones in the traditional sense, throwing the last 2.
You'd rather not move this one because
Didn't just quite work out as he hoped for their work. He got that a bit too thin. He was hoping to keep the shooter in front of it and just push the yellow back. Still got a couple of good angles to work
I don't
with, but
think so. I
Kiwi
mean,
definitely
Benny,
got game control
Benny
just
through
now.
here. It looks pretty natural.
Yeah.
See anything
Now,
else?
Kui's not necessarily
There's a
going
good
to
one
be
in here.
interested in moving the yellow stones around too much. He's really thinking, how can I get another stone into a position where it's
You're worried about
very
leaving
difficult
this?
to
Not
take
really.
out. More of a defensive positioning shot that he's looking for.
Yeah, he's thinking a couple of shots ahead here and wondering how he can block out De Cruz's last shot at the end to see if he can score a big end here himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You don't want to go 2 or 3 shots down to Kevin Koe after one end work. It's a
No.
long, hard afternoon then, because these guys can defend the lead exceptionally well.
You got some
One of
room.
the
Wait
best
only.
hitting teams on the circuit just now. These guys throw
Where are ya?
the high hard one
We should.
extremely well. They don't miss too many takeouts.
One of the best sweeping teams as well. Ben Hebert and Mark Candy have been renowned for years. Let's look at Hebert's style here. Both feet up on the toes, full
It's there,
chest weight
guys.
over the brush, right in the centre, his head's over the stone.
It's a good shot.
Nice shot.
And again, that's the kind of shots that sweepers want. You don't need to throw exactly a brilliant shot every single time. You just need to get it in the zone. If you throw it in or around where it's meant to be and leave it to the sweepers to decide, the last 10% of that shot is all down to the sweepers. Where it lands, the positioning, and And that's why you'll find nowadays you never have a top team that doesn't have good sweepers.
Yeah. And to give the people at home some idea, on good ice with good surface and good stones, the top sweepers will probably move the stone or keep it going for another 3 or 4 metres further than it would have done had it not been swept.
Yep.
So all of a sudden your target area is probably 2 or 3 metres, plus 2, minus 2, which is a big, big difference.
Yes, certainly. It makes a huge difference. And curling is the only sport in the world that you can alter the direction of the projectile after it's left the player's hand. You can't do it with a bow and arrow, you can't do it with a gun.
Certainly not advisable to do it with either of these orders.
It's not.
Don't put your hand at the end of it, that's not a good idea. Just a lesson for MD at home, just for
Yeah, health and safety first.
So Benoit Schwartz trying the out turn, chip the yellow into the pack of reds here.
Non. Attention. Ouais. Oh. Attention, Claudio.
An easy shot.
Whoa.
Is it going to bend enough? Oh no.
Oh no.
Just floats it past the side.
Well, we said before, you don't get too many chances against the Canadian team. You don't need to be doing that. You got to make the simple shots and take your chances when you get them. And unfortunately, that was a bad miss.
Yeah, it was a bad miss. And I can't seem to get an easy shot.
Made this a little harder now.
The experience amongst these 4 Canadian guys is incredible. They've been at it now for 20 years almost, and hugely successful, as we said before. And they can work out angles. I think 3 or 4 shots out at a time, because they're used to playing this level of curling week in, week out. And that's the biggest difference in the Canadian guys and the European teams. The Europeans don't get the same amount of opportunities to play on ice such as this here, and also against the quality of teams we have here.
Yeah, the game in Europe tends to be more defensive, tends to be more hits involved in it, and there's not as many teams that are willing to go head to head, leave a lot of rocks lying about, work out the angles. And Canada are experts in this type of game. They play this type of strategy all the time, and with that they become better at it. And when the European guys get exposed to this, sometimes they get caught out. Now, K.Koe. You'll see he's very low to the ground, very low to the ice. Great style. Right down behind the stone, lines it up, lets it go. There's a long time to line that shot up. He's down into his slide very quickly. He's just trying to block this side up. He figures that this is the Cruz's best chance of getting himself out of the end. And they're just trying to give him the hardest shot with his last stone.
Looks pretty good.
Yep. Done its job.
Could Schwartz come through that hole in turn work and draw across the face of the yellow and chip it in? Because he doesn't have a huge amount else on right now.
No, he doesn't. I think it's possible, perhaps, but I don't know if he'd have enough weight to get through the hole and actually move the yellow. I think the gap's just a wee bit tight for him to do that.
And I wonder about coming down even at peel weight and just trying to fire it in at a very thin angle. It's not easy, that's for sure. If he taps the red onto red, the nose, he gives up 2, possibly 3 if they can draw the edge of the button.
Même moins que Hack, je pense. Juste amener ça là. Hein? On n'a pas le choix, je pense. On peut faire. Mais bon. Ouais, mais.
Well, he's got a number of options and none of them are nice.
Même moins, juste ça.
Unless he's got a sand wedge or a helicopter in his bag, the rest are going to be
Pour
tricky.
être sûr de rester là.
Aye.
Parce que si on prend une moitié, ça sert à rien. Hein? Bon, juste cette vitesse là.
He's suggesting a back ring weight.
Okay, Benoit Schwartz, the 23-year-old economics student from Geneva, is just trying to come down and tap the red onto the red. He knows he'll leave them lying 2, but he's thinking this might be his best option at this stage and hope he doesn't lose a 3.
Yeah, this is not the start that he'd hoped for. He's got to play a fairly difficult shot. Holding his shooter, trying to block as much of the forefoot as possible. And that's just to stop your opposition getting 3.
Yeah, horrible position to be in the first end.
And that's swinging.
Light and swinging, it's going to be a draw for 4.
Right, so Canada draw for 4.
Kevin Koe has just covered the button at the first end in the draw shot practice, so the odds are pretty strong that he's going to be very close to this one.
And as we were saying before, Dave, with sweepers like he's got, his target area is so much bigger than some of the other teams here.
Absolutely, he's aiming somewhere between the yellow guard, 2 metres short of the house, and the back of the forefoot's his target area.
Yeah. Again, down right behind the stone, lining it up on the brush.
Great style. Great style and so consistent. Brent Lang closest to the stone, basically keeping it clean. Ben Hebert's now piling in. And he goes for it now.
He swapped that over. Oh, it stayed straight on them.
Wow.
That is a very unusual mistake. Well, that just emphasises the importance of the last shot that the Cruz had. If he had actually made contact with the red, tapped it back, rolled his shooter out a little bit, Koe misses his last shot, and that could have just been a 2. And he escaped a bit, but 3 shots, it's not going to be easy for him now.
No worries, Mark.
No, he's got to score 4 more than one of the top teams in the world in a 7-end game on good ice. Not giving you good odds in that, Warwick, I'm afraid.
No.
Skiing uphill into the wind comes to mind right now.
Aye. It's certainly know what colour I'd rather be here, and it's not yellow. But these guys won't be going down without a fight.
No, they pin a 2 up on the board here, force a 1, score a 2 back, so to go. Their plan right now, the mindset would to score 2, force Cand at 1, score 2. Tie the game after 4 ends.
And you're scoring at the evens, which we've said before in previous broadcasts, that the even ends in the second half of the game are the most important ones, 6 and 8. So if you can get on the scoreboard in 2 and 4, you're in good shape, especially if you can draw these guys back to a level game.
Mark's rock.
No, line's fine, Put it top button.
So Canada, with their predictable draw to the top of the button, they don't want anything lying short that the Cruz team can use to come round. They're just going to keep everything as clean as possible. Let the Cruz play all the difficult shots. They're just going to play a nice simple game from here on in.
Oh, and then it took some weight off it, you think?
All the pressure on the Swiss.
That I didn't think I was
Swiss
that
Roy's going to
wide,
flip a corner guard though and try and get something going here. Ben Hebert
going
with
right
a
in
perfect
front of
start to the end. We talked a lot yesterday about this, Warwick, you know, how effective a good lead player is in these top teams now. If they can get the end set up properly for the skips, I mean to the millimetre perfect with their draws and where they place them, it totally dictates the ends.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It throws the pressure back on the opposition. If your lead player is playing well, he's getting the shots in the right position, it just makes it so much harder for the opposition to actually manufacture a 2 or a 3 out of an end.
Especially when they're behind, you know, it's like a double whammy. You're behind the game, you're behind in the end.
Yeah, and again you see them playing everything tight to the forefoot. they know that the Cruz will have to move these stones at some point during the end. So,
K5 à la
Valentin
place.
Tanner, second shot,
Ligne, c'est bien.
attempting to come round the guard that he threw with his first.
Ligne, c'est bon.
Sitting a little bit wide.
Ligne parfaite. Il là. Il là.
It's a nice weight
Ligne, ligne,
if he
c'est
can
bon,
get
c'est
that swing at the end.
Yep. Nice shot.
Très bien.
Sits top tee, perfect.
So Kevin Koe is not going to leave any guards out front. As soon as the free guard zone 4 shots have been played, he's out there straight away. Move the corner guard. And then we'll see if the Swiss boys want to replace the guard or if they're going to try and move the double either through a tap back or...
Well, they've discounted that. They're going to go straight for the guard again.
Ouais, mais si c'est un peu sur l'intérieur, ça va.
And I think that's the right call, Dave. It's early on in the end. You don't need to move these red ones yet. The last thing you want is to play the game in the house.
Yeah, the good thing for the Swiss boys is what these two stones are close together and they're relatively easy for them to move with one shot.
Ligne, c'est bien.
It's an unusual way of playing the game with the
Ligne, c'est bon.
skip throwing second stones.
Okay.
Oh, look at this, Dave. Nice shot.
Yep, well played.
I think no doubt that the Koe rink will just go for the straight peel here. They do have an in-turn tap, but they don't need to do that just now. That's the benefit of playing a great first end, being 3 shots up. You don't need to go for the difficult shots, you just play the simple ones. Let your opposition go for all the difficult shots.
This all came about, this situation worked by the Cleveland boys straight after the warm-up, out the change room, onto practice, a couple of good draw shots, and every player made his draw shots on the freezes 100%. The only shot let down was Kevin Koe's last one, just hung out a bit wide.
Yep, they didn't do much wrong in that first end, and we did say the Cruz wasn't going to run away from him. He went toe-to-toe with the Canadian guys at the first end when he didn't have last stone, and that's the result. 3 shots down and could have been more.
Long guard this time, it's a good bit longer than the previous one.
Gut feeling says he's going to go for a hit again, Dave. I don't see.
He's seen half that now, but it's the safe shot's the peel, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't think he needs to take the one in the house. It's not hurting him at the moment. Even if he takes the guard off, yep, that's the right shot. The Cruz is still going to move those 2 red stones. Even if he gets them perfect, still going to leave a double for the Koe rink.
If Mark had made a perfect tap back, the Cruz is going to freeze the one behind the corner guard anyway, so he would be actually more advantageous to the Swiss.
Yeah, and that's essentially what the Cruz is trying to do. He's trying to tempt them into making a greedy error. So, the way this game's lining up, they've got 7 stones to come. The Cruz will be sitting thinking, when do I make my move? When do I stop putting a guard on? And he's looking for the tipping point. He's thinking when the Canadian guys take my one out in the house rather than take the guard off. He wants to make his move just before that point.
Bit of a game of poker. Who can hold out longest before you show your trump card, you know? It's,
Absolutely.
this is too long, Warwick.
Again.
Too long. You may well see Koe making a move first here then if that's the case.
Yep. It is well covered, but it's very, very long.
One thing Koe doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to give up a cheap 2.
Well, he's got himself in a great position here with a 3-shot start.
Should be still pretty straight, I think.
He'll be happy to lose 1. Take last stone advantage back.
Nicer hack.
He's playing it though. Mark's in turn. An in-turn tap.
Mark, say something.
Well, they've decided that guard's too long for the Cruz to do anything with, so they're considering going around it and tapping back, but he's just a little bit on the narrow side. And is that the mistake that the Cruz has been looking for?
Well, it gives him the opportunity here. He can make a play on one of the Reds now and chip and roll behind the corner guard.
Yeah, that's just what he's nominating here, Dave.
Again, he'll not worry. The Red will lie one in the middle after this shot probably, but he's not too worried about that. It's kind of a separation between his two Yellowstones, and
Yeah, if he can get the shooter here to roll completely behind the guard, then that's going to put a bit of pressure back on Canada and give him a great chance of scoring too. So Stones away, out turn, playing a control. Oh, it's grabbed something.
oh dear, dear, dear.
That's just not what you need.
No. You know, Benoit was coming on and off the sweeping there. Oh no. Oh dear. Well, you can get bad breaks, then you get really bad breaks.
Well, I'm afraid there's not much else you can do apart from.
You don't like to see that. Claudio had a bit of a wry grin there, but he'll be hurting inside after that one. You've got to be careful. You're playing with the hair brushes, you come on, off. If you leave a bit of debris and ice, it just can pick up. The surface of the ice is very smooth, running over the top of the pebble. And a bit of hair off clothing or material or dirt in the air can cause these stones to do that. A bit like a kick in snooker work is the best example of that.
Yep, and that's a shame. They just got a bit of a break there and got themselves set up looking nice with a possibility of building something, trying to get a two back against Canada, and that's just a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, and the setup for Canada is almost perfect. If Kevin throws a guard down here, it's going to be really hard for Benoit Schwartz to try and score.
Tight. Okay, easy. You got a bit of room, I think.
Kevin Koe's first stone at the second end.
They're using the pad brush there, make sure that there's no debris in front of the stone.
And now they wanted to swing a bit more,
See,
so
looks
Ben
all
is
there,
closest
Mark.
to the stone
All there.
and starts working it down at the end if he needs to.
Hairbrush,
Ah non, Mercure, c'est super.
getting a bit more swing on that stone happening. It's got to move.
Look at that there. Judy.
Deux tiers avec lui. Ouais, exactement. Si on fait déjà, même si ça reste là, c'est égal.
I thought we were throwing a guard.
Deux tiers, c'est très proche. hein.
There's not much else that the Cruz has got here.
No, he's going to try for a triple. Best hope right now is to blank the end.
Yeah. I thought we hit the guard this one.
Wants to hit the front red on the left hand side, put it across the face of the next red, drive it back and catch the red at the back of the button. He'll lose his shooter, but if he can lift all three reds, he'll be happy to take the sacrifice.
So, full strike weight. Sweeping, looks close. He's
Good effort.
maybe double there. He
Good
hit,
effort.
he hit that on the wrong side. Not the shot he was going for, but
We can't hold that against him. Warwick, he's had a bit of pain this end with a couple of bad breaks, so the pickup was bad enough. To pick your own out of the house at the same time was like a double whammy on him.
Pretty
He was
dumb to screw it
unlucky
up,
there.
not hit it, but
yeah.
So what's Kevin going to do? Is he going to throw a half-check guard on this, or is he going to hit and run
Yeah,
across the
with
face and just force the
normal.
one?
Well, Kevin doesn't really need to do anything special here. He's 3 shots up. He hits that yellow just off the nose. Try to hold the shooter as tight to the centre line as he can. He doesn't want much of a roll on this. He just wants
that's what we're playing.
to make sure it misses his
I was
red shot at the back.
normal, just in case.
Why
on
2
the
shots?
spot.
Put the pressure back on the Swiss team. Maybe see him if he was only 1 up. He might be trying to force it a little bit more. He might be playing a half check round the yellow. Put a bit more pressure on. See if he can really push him for an extra shot. But he doesn't need to do this. Lovely
real
shot.
nice shot, perfect. So for Canada, it's mission accomplished. They're line 2. At the best, the Swiss can only just score a 1.
Parfait.
Puts them 2 down without the hammer, playing the third end, and set in a position of power.
Hein? Bah, le LSD, on a joué ça, c'est arrivé.
No, as we said before,
Ouais.
when you get in a position when you're 3 up, you're playing well, your lead player puts 2 great shots into the forefoot, it just throws the opposition a whole lot of pain. They've got to really work to try and grapple with the game, try and get a bit more of a foothold, see if they can dig something out at the end, and all the shots that seem to come to the K.Koe rink just now are the simple ones. They play them well, and they get a nice result when they need to.
Okay, Benmar Schwartz, last stone, second end. 3 down, facing 2. Just playing a quiet tap back on the shot in the centre of the house.
Now, ordinarily, Dave, this would be a relatively simple shot for a guy of his experience, but you're 3 shots down against Canada,
Ok. Vitry.
and if you miss this, you're out of the game.
Looks pretty good.
He's played a good shot.
Nice shot.
Very good.
1 to the Yellows, 1 to Switzerland. K.Koe leads 3-1 through 2 ends. Quite interesting that the K.Koe rink, say one of the top teams in the world and one of the very best from Canada, they actually came from 3 different teams at one point. Kevin's skipped his own team for many years. Brent Lang going through the picture just now, he was playing second stones for Glenn Howard, and one of the best ever teams, I would say, Warwick, in the history of the game.
absolutely.
That you played against him in the Worlds in Edmonton, and I think that'd be one of the best team performances ever by a Canadian or any team in the World Championship. That week they were on fire from the start. They won, I'd have to say, at a canter.
Yeah, they did.
Relatively easy.
I think one of the players that we don't see here is Richard Hart, who played third for Glenn in that team, and that week he was just unbelievable. Just made every shot going. When we managed to force a mistake out of the front end, get ourselves in a good position, he'd come and clear it up and completely demoralise you.
Yeah, Rich should be one of the greatest ever thirds, I think, in the game. It was his demeanour on the ice as well. He was a fantastic reader of the game, but he also had he looked understated always. He didn't look like a flash player. He wasn't one of the sort of pop stars of the game. But time after time, the combination of him and Glenn together was quite incredible.
Yeah, he was one of the sports gentlemen.
We're just looking at some of the numbers here just now, and Team K.Koe through the first 2 ends are shooting 91%, and Team the Cruz are 66. And that's just the guys being on the wrong side of the Rob's wrong side of the brakes.
And yet again we see a mistake by the Cruz lead player, Valentin Tanner, putting his first shot into the rings, allowing the Canadian team to hit, which is an absolute no-no.
Well, it's basically straight off the bat, Warwick is taking the 4-stone rule out of play. You know, you must get them short of the house. You can't afford to throw them into the rings. And the last 2 guys from the Canadian team, Ben Hebert and Mark Candy, had an incredibly successful run of seasons with Kevin Martin and John Morris, winning world titles and Olympic gold medals before joining this team. So in some ways this is almost the dream team. Or so Ben told me anyway.
Yeah, well,
Great character, Ben, full of one-liners, and if he lacks anything in life, it's certainly not self-confidence anyway.
no, but if you
The Benny Heaps one-man PR machine. Great guy, good curler. And the boys came across early to get over the jet lag and spent a couple of days down at St Andrews. Played the old course, all 18 holes in horrendous weather on Tuesday. Good on them, they toughed it out.
Yep.
True competitors. Mark said he had 7 layers of clothes on and still felt cold, and it was +3 that day, and doesn't understand what it was like in this country, but it was -20 as he's used to in Edmonton.
Yeah, he mentioned there's only 3 courses in the world he'd ever play in those conditions, and St Andrews was certainly one of them.
So Peter de Cruz, skipping, throwing second rocks in this team. Trying to get distance between the 2 guards.
He needs to put them further apart, try to make it harder for the double takeout. Fortunately, it's not easy, but when you're playing against these guys, they don't miss many shots.
Yep.
And they'll certainly fancy this 7 times out of 10.
Yeah. This is a
6-3.
quarter stone double across the face. Tidy up the guards and Mark's just asking a couple of questions about what we're trying to do here.
So looking for a bit of clarity, that shows experience as well. There's many teams that don't do that, I notice, and still don't do it. They love that open communication line, which is so important. The thrower needs to know exactly what the skip's thinking and where he wants to hit the stone. It's experienced teams that are able to talk about that and not get agitated.
Whoa. Hard mark. Go.
Yeah, Brent was calling supers on, they didn't come on quick enough and just drew too much. Not bad. Doubled the opponent's guards up, set the corner guard up for themselves, so they'll be quite relaxed about that.
Again, de Cruz is trying to keep this game down the centre of the rink. He doesn't have last stone, he wants to make it as hard a target for K.Koe's last stone. Keeping everything around the centre. Koe quite happy to clear up the centre, leave it wide open.
Yeah, that's picked Warwick, it's pulling up and drawing across.
It's the second one for the Swiss team.
Just positive, watch what they're doing, just keep the eyes clean up there. It can't all be one-sided. The Canadian boys have had no pickups. There's been 2 for Switzerland, so they've got to watch what they're doing. This is
Well, you do notice that the Canadian teams, there's a brush down nearly at all times. Immediately after the thrower lets the stone go, you usually see that yellow padded brush going straight onto the ice. Keep it nice and clean.
Wait only.
Leaving this one. Must be worried about the weight.
Line's good.
Brent's on a
Just
great
for weight,
thrower.
just for
I
weight,
think over
line's
the years he was
fine.
playing with Glenn
Gotta
Howard
be in
and
front of the
Richard Hart
tee,
and
man.
Craig Saville, and never had a bad game.
No, he's Mr. Consistent, isn't he?
This might not be the day to say that. He's going to hang in the back rings. He's okay.
Well, he had that in his head as well. It shows you it happens to the best. Don't be short. That's what he's thinking. Don't be short. So a chance for the Cruz to use that as a back guard. Try and freeze onto it. But again, he's playing around the corners, Dave.
Yeah, around the corner without last stone work. Not good. One half shot, one mistake, and you could lose another big end here.
Yep.
And they're not in a position to lose anything apart from the one.
They've got to go on this one. It's grabbing something, it's swinging. It's a lack of weight.
Just light away, I think, that time.
Yep.
It wasn't a pickup, that was just a pure shot.
Well, you can see the ice is swinging.
Oh, it's huge.
It's really good. And, you know, a shot of that weight, I mean, he's missed that target weight by a good 2.5, 3 metres.
But nice to swing as much as this, though. You need 3 or 4 metres of weight on your shot for a start. It loses a lot of weight with the swing going down the ice.
Yep. And again, like I said before, de Cruz's team's thinking exactly the opposite of the Canadian team. They're thinking don't be heavy, and as a result, he's just taking a little bit too much off it. So they'll be looking for this one to finish top of the tee line. And it's just about perfect.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're running down and placing it, you'd probably put it exactly the same spot.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, we talked about Brent playing front end for Glenn Howard all these years. He played alongside Craig Saville. And Craig, if you're listening today, we send you our very best wishes. We know you're having a tough time just now, health-wise, going through cancer treatment. Our thoughts and best wishes from Scotland go to you.
Vitesse, wow! Wow! Attention, wow! Wow!
Claudia Pats trying to follow
Benoît, c'est vraiment là.
the Langstone down. Trying to draw around it onto the back one.
Yep. Left it too late. It's an in-between shot.
Too much weight.
Not getting to grips with the weight here at all.
From throwing red stones, Warwick looking pretty good, and throwing yellow. The alarm bells are ringing right now.
Well,
2 behind the corner guard, 2 up in the game.
I don't know. He's
You're about to throw.
This is probably his best shot.
I'm not trying to paint a dull picture here for the yellows, but
no, it doesn't look like at this point.
there's every chance Koe might go right out to the wing in this one.
Yeah, I think he's done enough down that right hand side. He's thinking to himself, do I really want to upset this? It looks pretty tasty for him down behind the yellows.
This is what
Can you
he
improve
can
it
be
when
to
you go in
get
there?
back.
Can you help the Cruz by going in there?
Well, I think it's difficult to get round the red, the top of the 8 foot, and get completely hidden. Which, if you don't do, is just going to leave the Cruz something to freeze
I
on.
mean, I think you can make
And at the
this,
moment, that is all the Cruz has got.
Here, do you?
That's right. They're going to try and come on to the top of it, give it a wee
And
nudge back.
if you hit it a little high and do
And if you
that,
do that,
I still
right
got
in the
that
nose
one,
then.
right?
Yeah, that's the Cruz now. A whole heap of trouble.
2 up, got the hammer.
Okay.
The shot's
You
fine.
throw in T-line.
Turn draw for them was also a good shot tee high, I reckon. You could have lane 4 well spread out and say to
Yeah.
Cruz, what else are you going to do now?
I actually like the in turn to the other side better, Dave. It's a
Weight's good. We gotta go.
less difficult shot than I don't think with these guys being in the position they are, 2 up with last stone in. I think they need to play this shot. They're obviously very confident.
And the confidence playing the tap back here, and if you make that, it's a great shot.
And curl.
I only feel this shot, but you could actually improve it for the Swiss by really now getting a half in behind that. You've got a half check on.
Moi, je crois que tu vois un tiers.
Yeah, that's ended up pretty good for them.
I think the Swiss have to do this. They've got to come right round these 2 reds,
Celle-là?
kind of like the back of the
Celle-là,
8
là?
foot.
He doesn't have a lot else, Dave. If anything else is a 2-shot strategy, which is moving the reds with your first
Sinon, on vient là
shot and
maintenant.
hoping the position of them is
On vient ça.
going to work for you for your second. Now he's opting for the shot you said, Dave, just to come round the whole lot, sit on the tee line or just behind it and
Moi, je crois
grab
qu'il faudrait
shot
jouer
there.
ça,
Yep.
mais vraiment essayer de rouler, tu vois. Genre rouler au bon endroit.
Certainly the ice is swinging enough to do that.
Ouais, je pense, ouais. Et puis du coup, genre,
Of
même
all
si
the
celle-là, elle
scripts
reste
in
là,
all the world,
tu peux la friser
the
un
last
peu
guy you
plus.
want to be down to is a guy like this Kevin Koe, because he can hit better than most.
Yeah.
He sees
Moi, je crois que
fraction of
9,
the Yellowstone to be able to pick
9
it
on voit
out.
pas assez.
Well,
vois,
I
genre une
remember
moitié,
playing
je
him
pense.
in the World Championships in 2010.
Moi, je viendrais, ouais, genre un normal.
Our team talk
Pas normal, là.
must have been similar to Cruz's,
Ça, c'est bien.
where we said let's just keep it tight and not go toe to toe with this guy in the first end. I seem to remember doing exactly the same, and being about 6 shots down after 4 ends, thinking where did it go wrong?
Feeling no pain, wondering how long it's going to take.
Yes,
Hoping the lights would go out maybe, or the plant would melt or something. The ice would
absolutely.
melt.
Dear, I was looking for a lightning strike at that point. It was the only thing that was going to save us.
Maybe some of your team members hearing his went to upward and you're giving them the pre-match pep talk, you know.
Well, I'm sure if they're listening, they'll remember it.
Attention!
Yeah, it's easy being laughing about it afterwards, but it isn't funny at the time, and it's very easy to get sucked into it. You're just hoping you can.
Yeah, well, at the time we played them, we were both undefeated teams. We would have won all our games. Oh, that's a great shot. And he certainly showed us the difference between a good team and a great team.
Yep. Excellent result there from Benoit.
That was a fantastic shot.
Peter de Cruz is laughing behind there. He thinks he's pulled out there to assure this will be a straight run back this time from Koe. One of his signature shots.
If we'll see here, you can think about how a snooker player lines up a shot. Gets his nose straight down over the cue, his eye line in line with the front hand, and this is what you'll see from Koe. Down as low as possible, eye and hand in line with the target.
Yeah, for any youngsters watching at home or people taking up the game, if you can slide like that, look at that, bang, bang,
Wow.
sticks it, rolls it across, lies first shot in the open. The Cruz is going to make a play in it.
Yep.
If he can hold him to any less than 2 here, he's doing well.
You know,
Great shot.
phenomenal. And we've seen this guy do this day in, day out. It's one of his, as we said, his signature shots, and he's so good at it. So if there is anyone watching and wondering how straight run backs are played, you could do worse than copy Kevin Koe.
Absolutely. Did a great thing for the juniors here in Perth the night before the event. They had an hour with the junior club, talking through, all 4 players, talking through experiences of curling and how it's affected their life, changed their life, or rules their life, whatever the case may be. And they were all absolutely superb at it. Some great stories.
Si on a un petit peu, si on est en plein ou un petit peu de ce côté, quoi.
Moi, ça, j'aime pas du tout.
Ok.
Yeah, and all these guys they are stars of the game, and especially in their home country. And not only do they provide the entertainment for people, they also put a lot back into the game. They sponsor a junior rink, try to bring them on, try to share their gifts with them. They're 4 very nice guys.
Mark's running his own junior event this year. Warwick, he's promoting and putting his name to a junior championship in Alberta, which is taking place in January, and he's looking forward to it. He was telling me all about it the other day, and it's a great thing to do. As I said before, there's all the things in the world you can buy, but one thing you can't buy is experience. And if you can pass on some of your knowledge to the younger players, it's a great thing.
Yeah, and he's just talking to us about the amount of time it's going to take to set up a tournament like that, and not just, you know, any tournament. It's the tournament that's got his name on it, so he's going to be there constantly to make sure that everything runs to his standards. He's a very professional guy.
Okay, so the situation we have here is Benoit Schwartz and Peter de Cruz decide to throw caution to the wind. You feel there's nothing else they can do but have a massive gamble here. They're trying to draw around the red stone that's short of the house. Live shot and hope that Kevin Koe doesn't make another run back. Got to go as far back as he can get, as much distance as possible.
Well, that's a great shot. That is a great shot under immense pressure. Again, it's an all or nothing.
Pretty good call, Warwick, I would say.
Yep.
Good call. He's no other choice than that. It's not the situation he wanted to be in. He called it and he made it.
Well, I think we'll see Koe playing a similar shot. Interestingly enough, Mark is standing in front of the Yellowstone. Now, most top players, third players holding the brush, will stand behind the stone that he's trying to knock it onto, so they can get a vision of where he needs to hit the first stone and move it onto the yellow. Now, I'm sure Mark will have to move back behind the yellow now to call the shot. But there you go. It seems to work for him.
Well, Warwick, a couple of ends ago I thought we were skiing uphill into the wind. I would suggest now the wind's just picked up the pace and the hill's got a touch steeper.
Yes. It does look like we forgot to wax our skis as well. And possibly forgotten both poles.
And seemed to have 6-inch nails in them at the same time. Yep, really good end by Canada. Played exceptionally well. And the De Cruz boys just couldn't get the angles right, or the lines right, and the stones at all.
And it's just masterclass stuff, this.
We've referred to golf a couple of times, and that's as smooth a swing as Jordan Spieth or Rory McIlroy or anybody else. Outstanding curling. We've now seen 3 ends of play. Team Koe's percentages the first time were 94, second end 91, third end 90.
Stunning performance.
Great play. Really good play. And a tribute to Paul Martin, ice maker here in Perth. Unless you've got the very best ice in the world and great stones, there's just no way you can perform like that. We've seen this across the rest of the games, and on the ice here throughout the last couple of days. Some fantastic ends, some great shots because of the conditions.
It was really close.
So we go off to start the fourth end with Ben Hebert.
Looks all there.
He'll be looking to put this in the rings again, not leaving anything too short.
Another great lesson for any youngsters playing taking up the game work is the intensity of Ben Hebert. Even at this stage, he's 7-1 up. His personal pride in his own stats, his own performance is fantastic. If you play that every day in life as a competitive player or any kind of player, it raises the standards game after game. He's not willing to drop any shot any time. He wants to play 100% every game.
Juste là, Aline, c'est bon?
Yeah, absolutely, and
Juste
the
là.
level of concentration required, especially in the position he plays at lead. You know, many people say, well, it's a simple draw to the house, and the amount of concentration you've got to have to make sure you play that end after end is it's quite phenomenal, especially if you're doing it so many times. You've done it so many times. Yeah, it becomes second nature, but you've always got to concentrate on these shots, because one little slip, as we've said before, if you don't set the end up correctly, could put your team in a whole lot of pain later on.
Give it a couple early here. Yep.
You don't see many skips shooting high numbers if the front end are playing poorly, because they're usually in trouble
Right on the button. Right on the
right from
button.
the start.
Yep. Gotta go line. Yep. Yep.
Got two sitting side by side, but they're both at the top of the forefoot. But I know that they would have liked to have taken that back a little bit. It's leaving a little bit of a pocket for the Cruz team to sit one on. And at this point, they're not overly worried if their yellow is lying shot. They just need shots lying about. So if they're lying third shot here, using the two reds as back guards, makes it harder for the K.Koe team to take it away. Gives them a chance to use it later on in the game.
So they're basically playing what we want to call the control shot. Warwick, he's got the control shot then, now he's lying on top of the forefoot in front of the reds. He can use at any point in time he wants to move the reds back.
I'm sure we'll see him replace the guard a couple of times once the K.Koe team remove this. They'll just be trying to keep the front clear, making the shots simple.
We can have a very open style of play from now on. Players have got to play 6 ends in the televised games. And the Cruz's guys will want to try and play a few good ends, get the form back, get a feel for the ice, get a feel for the weights and lines, because they're going to have to go back on and play early tomorrow morning. The winner of this game here advances to a qualifier, which will be against the winner of the Murdoch-Schwaller game.
You might want to start playing basketball.
Dave Murdoch from Scotland currently leading 1-0.
Again, that yellow has come too far up with the Cruz. He wanted that short. He needed it in line with the other yellow. Then he sacrificed a little bit of distance to try and drag it across. But in my mind, that's just a little bit too close. No, we've had an unusual one. That seems to have picked up in his hand. You'll notice the reaction by Brent as soon as he let it go. Gave a wry smile. Has grabbed something when he still had hold of it. Just as he was about to let it go, it took a funny turn.
It's on the bottom of a curling stone. It's a bit like the bottom of a saucer. There's a 6-inch running band on the bottom, and the surface area of the stone that's in contact with ice is only about 6 millimetres wide. So it doesn't take much of a foreign body to affect the running line of the stone. There's every chance that was under the stone before he threw it. Warwick, I guess, it picks up as quickly as that.
Yeah, these guys make sure that the ice between the hog line and the hack is clean before the slider comes out. And it's the the thrower's job to make sure that the stone is clean before he actually puts it back down on the ice to throw it. Sometimes you can't grab all the dirt, and if it just grabs a little bit of fluff off a bit of clothing or maybe a hair off a brush, well, that's enough to divert the stone, cause you're no problem. So, back to square one with Mark's first stone. He'll just be simply trying to remove the guard. Canada's still in good shape here. Although Swiss will be getting a little bit hopeful of maybe dragging a 2 back here. They've got 2 yellows in the house. They'll be trying to put a guard on this, not making their move too early.
Yeah, the Swiss want to throw guards here until the last shot, but at some point Canada will ignore the guard work and draw to lie 2, and that will leave the Swiss the challenge of trying to do a raised takeout and also score 2.
And again, like we said before, it's a cat and mouse. When do you make the move, when don't you?
To work hard to get over the hog line, that's just
Again, it's
over.
a very long guard, Dave, that's too long.
Too long work. Too long and not covering much.
As long as this one doesn't spin behind the guard, right? Looks like it's close to spinning behind the guard to me. To make sure you're getting rid of that one.
We're guarding with our rock if he runs it.
Okay, so what's Kevin decided? He's going to throw a guard on it.
Kill one of his with a hit.
Double guard it, protect his ride at the back.
I like this.
Well, this is what we talked about earlier, Dave.
That's what he was thinking, but the other guys are suggesting that
Halfway mark.
we play the pick over the face. Nope, he's going to go for the guard.
Well, he reckons that yellow guard out there is long enough and probably wide enough to cause the Cruz team a problem. If he puts a decent guard on this, they'll end up having to manufacture something by playing the tap game.
He's in the comfort zone, he's leading by 6 shots. Got total game control here.
That's a very good shot. Well, the Cruz is making it difficult for himself here.
Yeah.
It's now incredibly difficult. You've got 2 guards on which are staggered, and you've got another couple of yellows which are half checked, all in front of your opposition stone, which is sitting at the top of the button.
Yeah. I'm not even sure it's physically possible to come down here and get the nose of that red enough to drive it straight back.
So you see almost the opposite tactics of what he's been playing. He's been throwing guards and now he's hitting them off. Yeah, it's just a consequence of good play by the Canadians. A little bit of slack play by his own team.
Attention! Attention! Oh!
So a bit high just now.
Yep. Whoa.
Still high.
Okay.
That is not going to help him a lot.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yes. Well, the only thing it has done is it's covered a corner of the button, which might allow him to draw around and beat the Canadian shot to the centre, but
If I'm back 8 though, that's
Kevin Koe's seen the same thing.
He thinks he's going to get in there first.
Yeah.
Stop the draw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's a couple feet. Yeah, we'll just go on. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, this one we don't want this to curl and get behind our own.
Yeah. Run the button, Kev.
So K.Koe, out turn draw, trying to grab a bit of the button. Well, the hand goes out, indicating that he might have thrown that a little bit heavy. Sweepers are stepping off it a little bit. Oh, here it comes.
Right on the tee
It's
line.
got plenty
Right
of
on the
weight.
tee line.
It just needs the line.
Right on the tee line.
And now they go.
Coming in now.
Keep going. Keep going.
Take
Keep
it
going.
back
Go,
so there's
go,
no
go,
hit and
go.
roll for first shot.
Well, it was a.
Doesn't stop that.
It wasn't. It was a good weight, but
Not if you're that hard. Not if you're that hard.
it was a good weight. But I'm not sure if he
When I
got the
let
line.
go, I was like,
Yeah, it's certainly leaving on this ice. It's leaving a shot for the Cruz to come round there, tap that red one back a couple of feet, roll into the centre onto the top of the button.
Got a chance, Warwick. It's not an easy shot, but he's certainly got a chance, which is more than he's had the rest of the end.
Yeah, but this is one of these situations where you see Canada don't make a lot of mistakes, but that's certainly been a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to capitalise on this. You're hanging on by your fingernails here.
He's thinking if he plays the run back here, Warwick, on top of the yellow, onto yellow and tap back the red. Leave the red that Kevin just played lying, and leave 3 yellows covered up.
Well, he's in a position where he's 6 shots down. He's guessing that a 1 is not going to do him any good at all. He needs a bigger end than that.
Then Schwartz, first stone, 4th end, out turn run back.
He's not flying at it. He's playing a nice controlled weight, sensible weight, trying to leave the yellows lying about, but that is not the result he was after. Unfortunately, Koe now lies 2, with little or no prospect of removing both reds and leaving any more than 1 yellow shot, if you can actually get the 2 reds out of there, which at the moment doesn't look easy, or indeed possible. So K.Koe just coming down with a guard. He'll be looking to cover the inside of that shot you can see that he played with his last stone, making sure that any shot that the Swiss do play rolls out the way rather than in towards the button. And he's going to want to play this a little bit tighter to the rings. Just a little bit short. A foot short would be perfect, I would guess.
No.
As long as it's on the right line.
Line's good.
And he's leaving this one,
Gotta stop.
making sure he's not too deep. That's absolutely spot on. Stay there. Yes. Excellent shot. So, what are the options for the Swiss?
That wasn't a great slide for you to read.
Not that good. He's probably got one chance. That's to scrape the shot that's just been played and see if he can get round to the button on the big swing.
Certainly enough swing there, Warwick, to do it if you can get the line right.
Yep. And I feel that he's got to either. I think he's got to play a bit of weight at this, Dave. He's got to be able to tap that through the button to move his shot in enough. Even if he gets a swing at dead weight, it would have to be awful good to skim past the top yellow, the second yellow, the top red, to grab a bit of the button. If he plays just a little bit of a tap back weight on this, skims the guard, I think he'll have enough swing.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. The guard's quite long. The guard's 4 metres short of the rings.
Yeah, I think K.Koe was looking for that guard just to be up a little bit tighter to stop this shot. Well, he's certainly played a bit of weight at this.
He's got plenty of weight.
Don't think he might be sweeping this.
Line Warwick's coming down now.
Looks pretty good. Don't sweep it. Oh. Has he got it?
Don't know if he has or not. It's pretty close.
Sweepers were a wee bit over anxious there. I think they needed to be sweeping that. Could have let it swing a bit.
Question commence, Ben. Je crois que c'est plus proche que son arrière.
Very close. I think it'll come to a measure this one.
So,
Ah, c'est quand même rouge.
for the viewers looking at home, you'll notice that oh no, they've decided that it's the Yellowstone shot. I was just a way to explain that there is actually a pinhole in the very centre
Encore deux.
of the
On
rings
peut
there
faire les T4 si vous voulez.
that is used for the measure.
Hein?
And the tape measure
Ouais, non,
attaches into that pinhole. A tape measure is used to measure the distance between that and the inside running band of the stone, just to depict which one's closer. But Canadian guys have decided. In fact, it hasn't. It's the Cruz team has actually conceded it. So they didn't make that
It's a
shot.
little unfortunate
So-
we can't stop, but
What did he tell you?
hein?
Again,
If you're happy with that, I'll tell the teams. Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
so the final verdict on that one, Dave, is that it didn't swing enough.
Yep, just a fraction too much weight. I think Warwick didn't have to take it out to move it back a foot, and that was just the difference. He took it out of the house completely, so he was just 2 or 3 metres too heavy and couldn't get enough to swing at the end to get behind the guard. Canada score one more.
We just apologise to our viewers out there. I think we've got the wrong score up on the board. Should actually be Canada 8, Switzerland 1.
Just going through the motions now, really. Ben Hebert taking his own guard off there to keep it completely open. Suspect this could well be the final offerings of this game. And very one-sided. Canada been exceptionally good, and the Swiss boys haven't got to grips with it at all. Got off to a bad start, really, Warwick, and never came back into the game. It's always going to be tough.
3,
He took a
3, 4.
gamble at the third end.
Ouais, ouais.
Had to do, really, not much choice. He was facing 3 shots with
Ouais.
no angles in his favour. But I did feel that going back, the mistake he made was he tried to come around the corner guard without last stone at 3-1 down.
Yeah.
At any point, it'd be better if he had ignored that corner guard, thrown a centre guard himself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the basic principles, if you don't have last stone, keep the middle messy. Make sure you play around the centre, cuts down the target area for the opposition. If you've got last stone, keep the centre clean, play it out to the wings.
And if you stick to that principle, you won't go far wrong. Anytime you go behind a corner guard without last stone, you're taking a risk. Okay, occasionally it will come off. But I would suspect against teams such as Kevin Koe's skill, ability, experience, you'd be lucky if you score any more than maybe 1 in 8,
And
1 in 10.
we've got to remember, Dave, that in that third end, the Cruz
On vient dedans.
played 2 fantastic shots, absolutely fantastic shots. He crept round a corner, he knocked a double out, rolled behind a centre guard that was sitting top of the 12 foot. Kevin Koe came down, straight double, bang. He then came down, he ignored the one at the back rings, which was a great call. He played an exceptionally good draw, scraped past the guard that was top of the 12 foot, landed fully behind it, put about 6 feet between them. Koe, cool as you like, straight back.
It wasn't even, there was never any panic. Both Koe's shots, they hardly touched some of the brushes, a couple of cleans here and there, and just pinned it right in the nose each time. And that's the difference, these guys. Whilst Kevin and all the Canadian boys do have jobs, they're not full-time jobs, they're able to curl pretty much all winter. They're completely committed to the sport. It's a business for them, and they're very successful at it.
Oh. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep, the Cruz's guys have basically thrown in the towel at this stage. Just going through the motions, playing out the end. And we will see a concession at the end of this end.
Is that as hard as you can throw it accurately?
Fair to say, Warwick, it wasn't really a game, it was more of a lesson.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, we've seen where the mistakes happened. It was in the first end. They've gone toe to toe with arguably, the best team in the world, and they didn't have last stone. They didn't have a bailout, a last shot to save them if they got into trouble. And if you're going to do that, you better make sure you make all your shots. And unfortunately, these guys didn't.
Yep. Nope, that was a good summary of what we've seen today. Well, the Cruz will drop into the B road. Play down there tomorrow and see if you can get a qualifying spot out of there. Still got 2 lives left.
Well, we see K.Koe advancing to the qualifying game. We play the winner of Schwaller versus Murdoch, in which Murdoch is 2 shots up at the moment. And that would be a fantastic game to watch. We've got the world, European and Olympic champions playing against each other. Both teams playing very well.
Yep. Could be very strong qualifying games if Ulrud beats Mikel and Nadine beats Rantamaki. They would play off in the another A qualifier. So if Remedy wants to come in and see some top class curling tomorrow, come to the Jewel Centre in Perth. If not, watch it, follow it live on the internet with ourselves or on BBC Alba. Lots of ways to watch the best curlers in the world.
I think we've seen the final shot from the Canadians. I've got no doubt that the Swiss team will come down, hit this stone, and we'll see a shake of hands.
Yep. If it wasn't over in the first end, it was definitely over in the third end. Warwick, it was all over by that stage, and it was just a case of going through the motions, see if they could get a break. They had a reasonable setup in the end number 4. But couldn't quite finish it off. They got a bit of a break when Brent Langstone picked up and he took his own one out. But apart from that, they've had nothing going for them in the game. So that's it. Ends 8 shots to 2 in favour of Kevin Koe and the Canadian boys from Calgary. And we'll go on to play the A qualifier tomorrow morning at 11:15. I hope you can join us then when we'll have a live televised game. It will be the game between the winner of Adine and Rantamaki. We'll play against the winner of Thomas Ulrud and Sven Mikel from Switzerland. These games are in progress just now. Adine's 2 shots up, and Ulrud and Mikel are tied at 3-all. Thanks go to Warwick Smith for another commentary session together. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.